convention with him that first year.
Oh, okay. Now, is it
Yeah.
always in Atlanta?
Yep.
Okay,
It's
so
always
is
here, and they're actually based out of here,
mm-hmm.
and so then they do it biannually, and so on the opposite year they have smaller, more concentrated ones, in some of their bigger cities. So that my parents usually stay in California, of course, for that one, and then everybody comes out here for this one, and it's about 60,000 people. It's
Wow.
pretty big.
And Tasha, I think that's another example where when we were in college, we used to love to say Jimmy Diggs' daughter.
That's my daddy.
Devoted Moms. Tasha's dad just had this natural flow of, his name it was just funny.
Right.
But, I think that's also where you got some of your entrepreneurship spirit.
Oh, definitely.
And the ability to kind of think beyond 9 to 5.
Right.
Because he's, it really is one of those companies that allows you to grow at the pace of your ambition, right?
Right.
So,
oh, exactly.
Yeah. So
I definitely got it from him. And it's interesting because all those years that he's been doing it, I've really kind of not really been listening. But I have been listening. I've been taking it in.
Yeah.
But, there were times when I would just be like, Dad, I don't feel like talking about this right now. Come on. Oh, here we go again. And it's interesting because when I'm talking to people and I'm talking to new team members and stuff, there are definitely things that fly out of my mouth that I heard my dad say. So there were definitely things that sunk in. And so that just speaks volumes, even to dads and moms who are listening. Your kids are listening.
Oh,
so don't stop talking. Don't stop talking, even if they're acting like they're not listening. Keep telling them what you need to tell them and keep saying what you need to say, and it'll sink in. And so when I first started my own business, he's ecstatic. I knew it. I knew you had it in you. So he's definitely my biggest fan. That's for sure.
I know. Well, yeah. And I think that it's funny because I think that there needs to be some reference. It can be really scary to think like that your child is not going to go that traditional route. You were sent off to college to be a worker.
Mm-hmm.
And we need workers, but we also do need, young people and just, independent businesses. So I think that's awesome. I think I got mine from Granddaddy. Do you remember Granddaddy?
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was really lucky, or not even lucky, just blessed. I thought everybody's grandfather owned office and business supply.
Right.
And we would go there on the weekends and clean the toilets and get a soda for our payment.
Right.
A Snickers if my mom didn't take us. And so he even had one of the old, this is really dating myself, but they used to have vending machines where you pull the glass bottle out by the top. I don't know if you've ever seen those, Tasha.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like vintage now.
Right. They would be really cool if you could find one, actually.
Yeah.
They would be cool.
He actually had one of those at the shop, and that's what we used to call it, the shop. But
I remember the shop.
I know. He kept that shop until he passed at the ripe age of 70. I think he's like 72 or so. But his whole thing was customer service. So even if you came into, and also building a relationship with the folks who you wanted to provide services to was imperative. And so if you went to the shop and looked around and maybe he didn't have what you needed at the time, you were going to leave there with something. Even if it was a pencil or his calendar, which is kind of self-serving. But he'd say, baby, pick you out a pen, or something that made you connect and to know that you're just being in his shop was appreciated. And I think it's how he was so successful.
I'm sure.
This is before Staples and Office Depot. I can remember him going, to Las Vegas to the paper company conferences, and I think about it now, and I'm sure he was one of very few African Americans that was doing that kind of work. And his thing was, he was from Selma, and he was from a place where they expected for you to be more labor oriented. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, he didn't like getting his hands dirty. He liked he liked being clean. So
Right.
he said he couldn't do all that hard work. So he made sure that, he worked for the VA for a while, and
Right.
then he stepped out on his own, and ended up getting the VA contract to
Oh,
supply
wow.
all of their paper and pens and office supplies and paper clips. And I think about
Wow.
it now, and I'm just like, it was all about the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew that if they ordered it from him, you would get it either the morning or the afternoon,
Yeah.
same day service.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that it is helpful to have some frame of reference,
Mm-hmm.
of independence and
Right.
kind of thinking outside the box. But then the other part of the family, is like, aren't you supposed to get a job?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you're not working, are
You
you?
don't have a job? I'm working. I work every day. Sometimes more than you, sometimes less.
I know. Well, it's interesting. My grandfather's daughter, my mom,
Right.
she says, "Oh, you're going to be making a lot more money." And I said, "Well, I'm going to be making money differently. I don't know if it's going to be more."
More or less. That's here or there. Depends
Yes,
on the
yes.
week.
So she did see me as being successful, but so I was like, yeah, I hope so. Unless I call home and ask, can you sponsor my peanut butter and jelly fund this week?
Exactly.
Which I'm sure they
Well,
would.
they certainly would. So
Yeah.
that's been fun. My parents are here, and I
Mhm.
always, of course, enjoy when they come. And it's funny because they'll come and they disappear sometimes too. So they're not the kind of parents that need to be underfoot.
Oh
You know,
no.
they'll walk out that door and say, "See you tonight," and I have no idea where they're going. So, oh well.
I
Um,
know.
and then the other exciting, overwhelming, nerve-wracking,
Mhm.
all rolled in one, is we're purchasing a house, and we close on our new house, or supposed to close on our house in less than 24 hours. We're supposed to close tomorrow morning,
Can
and
you claim that you're closing on your house tomorrow?
I am closing on my house tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock,
That's
9
right.
a.m. sharp.
Declare it.
Yes, I'm declaring it. So, but as sometimes with things that happen, there was a little bit of a hiccup today, and we're still trying to work that out. And so this is one of those moments where, we've done what we're supposed to do, and
Mhm.
we've provided what we're supposed to provide, and now, we're putting it in God's hands, and also in the lender and the underwriter's hands, and we've got to wait to hear back from them on what the next step is. And so, we're praying and crossing our fingers and hoping that that next step is see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Well, and I'm
Um,
sure there's other devoted moms who may be on the eve of, purchasing or getting their own keys to their own
right.
homes, and so there is often you call it a hiccup, and I automatically thought when we say hiccups in my house, we think, boo, scare the hiccup. Anyway, bad joke. Uh, So we're just going to scare away, all of
Right.
the doubt. And, God's been in this process, from the beginning. And so
Totally.
he's not
Yeah.
just now showing up and being like, okay, I got it now. But it's going to turn out the best, even better than you can imagine.
Yeah.
And you and Kenny are so faith-filled that we know that he will get the glory. And
Oh yeah.
again, yeah,
Totally.
yeah. So that's awesome. So keep packing those boxes, girl. Woo.
Yes. That's no fun. That is no fun. And we are so behind, but we packed up like half the kitchen last night. And so the kitchen
Yeah.
is usually the hardest place. So
Uh-huh.
we'll probably be done with the kitchen tonight. And then, that'll really kind of feel like we're doing something.
Right, right, right,
Yeah.
right.
So how about you?
Uh,
How's your week been? You still a mommy
I
of
have
four?
been Mother Hubbard in the no. Okay, it's not Mother Hubbard. It is the old woman in the shoe with so many children she didn't know what
You
to
don't
do.
know what to do.
Like I told you last week, my housemate is
Mhm.
in Africa. I actually did get FaceTime on the iPhone this morning with her, It was good to
Oh,
see
cool.
that she hasn't been consumed by any lions and tigers, but she was
Right.
on her way to the savannah. So let's cross our fingers.
Oh, nice.
They said that humans aren't really that desirable
Right.
for the beast of the jungle and the savannah. So if she stays where she's supposed to, she should be okay.
Okay.
But she's having a fabulous time.
Oh,
She's
good.
looks really well rested. Has posted pictures on the Facebook. Um, and I have to say, the girls have been again phenomenal.
Okay.
Had to play me mommy one night because they were playing with walkie talkies after they were supposed to go to bed. And
Right.
I can remember my mom having to scream, "I'm coming up there! Don't make me come up there!" And we'd be in each other's rooms. And so it's so funny because the girls have no idea that I know that what they're doing. And
Right.
the thing is, and the only way they got caught is that one of them didn't get up. And they were like, "Oh," it
Okay.
was Indira, "I'm so tired because Ella kept me up." And so that started the canary sang like nobody's
Right.
so it was really funny, and I've been giving the older child, Amina, more responsibility and more conversations about
Right.
leadership, and she had to do double
Mhm.
chores because she used her leadership for bad. She was the one that
Good
constructed.
lesson.
Oh, that's okay. Your mom will never know. They were playing on the walkie-talkies. Meanwhile, I'm hearing something like, "Shh, can you hear me?" And then her little sister says, "Well, Amina told me to go get the walkie-talkie from Sims because it wasn't working." And I'm like, "Walkie-talkie? I thought y'all was asleep."
Right.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
so keeping four girls, from just completely running over me. It's been fun.
Right.
But they've also been stellar with being responsible for getting up, getting themselves dressed, and breakfast, and
Yeah.
we have not been late one time. Which
Yay.
I'm never late. I'm just on my own time anyway.
Devoted moms. You know what that means, right? You know what that code
I
that
am
what
always
what
where I'm
that's
supposed
code
to be
for.
exactly when I get there. When I get there. When I get there is when I'm supposed to be there. So
Okay.
so it's been a good week, but it'll be interesting because as a single mom, I've been used to kind of running things my own way, and so my wife is coming back, and she did see on FaceTime her girl's room was not looking quite as stellar as it usually is,
Right.
and she said, "Can you all clean up your room before I get home?" And I look like, what? Just be happy these chicks are alive.
Yeah. Alive and fed, baby.
Alive and fed. But Devoted Moms, again, it is an example of how if we can activate our support systems, we really can enjoy much more than what can sometimes be mundane and overwhelming and unappreciated,
Right.
by just reaching out for help. And she does the same thing when I'm away doing business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about my children. I've got a really good support system between she and Carlos.
Right.
I know that they've got my babies taken care of. And so it's important that we think about that. And we also think about the reciprocation,
Mm-hmm.
that it's healthy when it goes both ways.
Definitely.
And so I'm so excited for her to have been able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Great
I'm like,
opportunity.
I got to go to Connecticut. Woo-woo! She's on a safari feeding giraffes out her hand.
Right?
So
Jealous.
I know she promised me next year we were both going to India, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we'll see. So it's been a good week. I am still kind of on business-wise, kind of sitting on a bubble, having put lots out there and ready, being ready for the opportunity when it presents itself. And I
Right.
really do know it's coming. Like I don't have any
No
doubt
doubt.
that it's coming. I
Right.
just want to be ready. And now with summer coming, that just it adds a new dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
There's somewhere I've got to find to entertain or to keep the girls, I guess, engaged, and then sometimes
Right.
not. I'm
Yeah.
actually planning some days where there's just like we might not get dressed at all.
Yep.
Mommy's got to work. I'll be doing my thing, and so we'll figure that out. But maybe we'll also talk about a little bit later on just a whole strategy of managing summer. But I do want to,
Yeah.
take this time and really thank Sylvia Global
Yeah.
for the opportunity to be able to catch up with you and also clue in, I guess, devoted moms around the world on just, what's happening in our small worlds.
Yes.
And, that change is constant.
Yes.
um,
Constant.
but together, supporting each other, it's doable. And I'm very appreciative for that opportunity.
So a lot of times when Regina and I talk, and we're one of those friends who we've known each other for years, and our conversations always go up and down. It's just there's no telling what we're going to talk about from day to day. So that's really how this show was created. And so a lot of times we also talk about just crazy stuff we heard on the news or read somewhere or saw on Twitter or Facebook, which is kind of where we both get our news. Working moms, don't judge us. So
Oh, when I was working outside the house, I think I spent more time
on
I can say that now because the University of Maryland is not going to come and ask me for their money back.
right.
If they do, good luck with that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been shown that in the workplace, there's a lot more, folks. In fact, some companies block Facebook. They block the ability to visit some sites
Right.
just because there's a question whether it has an impact on performance.
Productivity.
Yeah, but there's counter research that says that it doesn't.
Right.
It says that folks get done what they have to get done. So instead of leaving their desk to go talk to the girl down the hall, they're maybe checking their Facebook.
Right.
So I think it can go. I think there just has to be that balance that we all hope to establish.
Yeah.
So
and
lots
there's
of things.
accountability at the end of the day. So if you were supposed to do 5 things and those 5 things are done, or you need to meet a quota and that quota is done, then I think that's what really is more important.
Right.
But,
Well,
so, yeah.
some of the things that caught my eye this morning, that's some of the trending, it's interesting because, I do a lot of work around mental health and recovery and addiction. And so there's actually a story that came out of Chicago where there's a woman who was arrested 396 times over the last 35 years.
Whoa.
395 times. Yes.
For all the same crime?
Well, they were all related. She's 51 years old now. This has happened over 35 years, and they have all been kind of mental health and substance abuse related. And so it's interesting because it goes to talk about, we've seen lots of example more recently of mental health or tragedies related to untreated mental health issues. And, that system has got to change. And some of that change is going to happen with the access to health care. But those systems, typically the way you get in is you go through jail. And that's, it's not working. And so what finally happened is this judge, instead of ordering her back to jail, he actually ordered her to seek treatment in mental health. And she agreed. She thanked him. That it took 396 times
Right.
You know, just given what I know about, you know, there's now court systems like drug court that's what they do. They
Mhm.
came about so that there was an avenue other than just jail for
Mhm.
folks to get treatment. Um, but it was interesting because her community knew her kind of as the town crazy.
Yeah.
And the police knew her. They had interactions with her where she was half naked, where she was
Wow.
belligerent,
Yeah.
just all sorts of things. And I was kind of curious when I saw the story, like what what made this story pop out?
Yeah.
You know, what made it pop out? But it does say that there are folks who are really having challenges with mental health, and she hadn't hurt anyone, probably
Mhm.
somebody's feelings a few times,
Yeah. I'm sure.
you know, but not to the degree that you know, some of the shootings that we've seen. Um,
Mhm.
you know, this has a better ending. However, it was that she kind of attacked the alderman, looks like.
Oh.
And yeah, and so, but she had someone who was advocating for her.
Right.
And it was, you know, reaching out and offering her a hand instead
Mhm.
of a sale. And
Right.
I'm sure the alderman had to agree, you know, that he was okay with that.
Mhm.
But it was there's clearly some intervention that needs to happen, and hopefully she will be able to take advantage of it, and it will meet her where she is so that she can thrive. And even at
Yeah.
51 years old, I still have hope that
Oh yeah.
her story just alone is going to stimulate. You know, how do we keep this from happening? So, you know, to Miss Miles in Chicago,
Mhm.
God be with you, and also
Yeah.
to that judge, I want to call her name. It's Judge Peggy Chiampus,
Okay.
and she, you know, she is the one who said, I really want to reach out. All of us are reaching out to you to offering you maybe a chance at your life, a hand, okay?
Mm.
And you've got to reach out and grab all of our hands as well.
Right.
And that's, you know, that gives me goosebumps. You know, that's the
Yeah.
spirit. Like, you know, I think that was the spirit. And I hope that more judges think about it in that way, because it's a difficult position. It's important. It's necessary. But I think she went human, and I love it
She
when people
did.
go human. So, what did you see this morning that caught your eye?
Well, this story is kind of interesting because there's so many different dynamics to it, and not sure how exactly I would have reacted. But a California mom was in the hospital having their second baby, or actually third. They have a set of twins. And
Ooh.
so the father was at home with the twins and decided that he was going to do a yard sale, to kind of surprise his wife, that he's cleaned out the some of the stuff in the garage and, made a little money and,
Mm-hmm.
handling everything while she's having the baby. And so he found this old watch box, so a really nice box that you can keep your watch in and protect your watch or whatever. And so he sold it at the yard sale for $10.
Mm-hmm.
And the wife got home the next day, and she immediately went and looked for this box, was frantic, couldn't find it. Apparently, she put her wedding ring in this box for safekeeping. Her $23,000 wedding ring, people.
Oh,
So now my
no,
wedding ring,
no to phenomenal fathers. No garage sales. No.
without your wife, or you at least take a picture of everything you're trying to sell and send it to your wife and say, can we sell this? Can we sell this? Can we sell this?
Oh my God.
And I'm just trying to figure out why he didn't just real quickly, just open the box, make sure there's nothing in it, make sure there wasn't a watch in it. Could have been a watch in it, you
But
know?
you know that feeling when you've lost something and you're going back in your head like, why didn't I lock the door? Why didn't why didn't I put it in the same place I've always put it? and when, and they, you know, the whole Kubler-Ross, the grief and loss around items, you know, I thought I misplaced a Kindle this week, and I was really having some anxiety about it.
Right.
So $23,000. Oh my God! First of all, I don't think. First of all, I would kill him for ever spending that much money on a ring. Let's check our values there.
Right.
Let's hope it was appraised at $23,000.
Right.
If you had $23,000, why in the world do you need to have a yard sale? I mean, I'm just saying, Tasha. I'm just saying.
Just throwing these questions out there. Yeah. I mean, and my ring.
No judgment. No judgment.
Right. No judgment. But yeah, my ring was nowhere near that, and I would have a fit if I knew that my ring was sold for $10 at a garage sale.
Well, yeah. And the question is, the person who opened up that box, you know, kind of like, where is their value system?
Right.
To say, you know, that man didn't mean to sell
No, he didn't mean to sell you that.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, you and I were joking about it earlier, saying somebody was like, well, praise the Lord, I got something. I found something.
I was just praying this morning. Lord Jesus, please send me a sign that I'm supposed to keep my house. And I opened up that box, and there it was.
Honey, I hope that person knows that the reward, that she needs to turn that thing back in and get a reward, and maybe they'll pay that mortgage or whatever that needs.
Right.
Woo! That's a thin line. That is the epitome of an ethical dilemma. And ethical dilemmas are usually solved based on your value systems. Yep.
And it would have been different if she found a couple dollars in there or something like that. Then it's like, all right, you know, possession is 9/10 of the law. But I am hoping that whoever bought it. And see, my thinking is, you know, this lady was toddling back and forth between even buying this box, and then she went ahead and decided to buy it. And I'm feeling like she might have looked in the box before she bought it. Because I'm thinking of not only who sells a box without opening it up, but who buys a box without opening it up, and really seeing, will my watch fit? Is it big enough? You know, kind of scoping it out, turning it upside down, the whole nine. So I'm wondering if she did see it in there and was like, ooh, come up, and bought it.
So Tasha, if we want to go in that direction,
okay,
do you think he really sold the ring?
See, now that's okay. So that's another angle. Remember, I said that this story has a lot of angles. So I was reading some of the comments from, you know, people, and somebody said, you know, that sounds a little fishy. I'm wondering if he either one has a gambling problem, or maybe another girlfriend, or something, owed money to somebody and sold it.
I can't imagine. You know, I've been married, and I had, you know, it was a wonderful, you know, marriage as long as it lasted. My husband was really cool, as long as he was really cool. I can't imagine him ever doing a yard sale while I'm in the hospital having one of the babies. And so there's some suspect there. And you know, I believe in the good in people.
Right.
You know, I do. But I also know that sometimes people make choices, and they then feel like they have to make more choices that maybe aren't consistent with their value system. You know, I'm thinking third baby. Does she really need that $23,000? But you know, I hope that if nothing else, let's find the silver lining. Which I actually saw that movie last night. It was fabulous.
I did too. I saw it a couple days ago.
It was so good.
Oh, it was so good.
Silver Lining Playbook, Devoted Moms, if you are able to get to a Redbox, or I don't know if Netflix has it yet or not. But it was, so the silver lining could be that she understands that her marriage and her connection with her husband and her family, that this material piece isn't what
it's based on.
What? What did you just say? All right, nothing. Devoted Moms. We're gonna You know what? We'd like to thank
Never
Sylvia
mind.
Global. We'd like to thank Sylvia Global for this opportunity, because we know that there's
Right.
not very many other places that would allow for us to talk about such interesting things
Interesting thing.
with each other face to face via internet. And devoted moms, we'd like to encourage you, if you have thoughts around this, to email us. We've got our email addresses right down by our names. And if someone wants to send, I'm not sure what the emotion econ or whatever like this to Tasha, I completely understand. Yeah, no better than that.